You are still here. Good. But do not get comfortable. Most people who clicked on this video have already left. They saw the length, they felt the weight of it, and something inside them said, not now, maybe later, maybe something shorter, maybe something easier, and they listened to that voice. They always do. But you are still here, and that means something. Or maybe it means nothing yet. Maybe you are still deciding. Maybe part of you is already looking for a reason to leave. That is fine. I expect that. What I want to know is what you will do with that feeling. This video is not what you think it is. It is not a list of tips. It is not a motivational highlight reel. It is not here to excite you or pump you up or make you feel powerful for 3 minutes before you go back to the same patterns. No, this video is something different. This video is a test. And it started the moment you pressed play. The test is simple. Can you stay? Can you focus? Can you sit in silence and discomfort long enough to hear something real? Not because it is entertaining, not because it is easy, but simply because you decided to. That is it. That is the whole test. And most people will fail it. Not because they are incapable, but because they have been trained to quit, and they do not even know it. Think about how you live inside a single day. Your phone is in your hand. A notification appears. You check it. Before you even finish reading it, another one comes. You scroll. You stop. Something catches your eye for 4 seconds. You move on. A video starts playing. You watch 30 seconds. You skip. You open a different app. You close it. You open it again. You do not even know why. You are not looking for anything. You are just moving, just stimulating, just escaping the stillness. And you do this hundreds of times every single day. Hundreds of micro moments where your attention is pulled away from one thing before it ever settled there. Hundreds of times your brain was trained to move on before anything was ever finished. This is not an accident. This is the result of years. Years of conditioning. Years of choosing the easier thing. Years of letting the mind wander the moment something became slow, or quiet, or demanding. And now, without realizing it, you have a mind that is difficult to control. Not because you are weak, but because it was never trained. Because every time it asked to leave, you let it leave. Every time it said skip, you skipped. Every time it said this is boring, you agreed. And slowly, quietly, without any dramatic moment of failure, your discipline eroded. Not all at once, just a little at a time, every single day. And so here we are, you and me, in a video that is asking you to do one thing. Stay. Just stay. Do not skip. Do not look at your phone. Do not open another tab. Do not pause this and tell yourself you will come back. Just stay. And notice how difficult that already feels. Notice the restlessness beginning to rise. Notice the small thought at the back of your mind saying, I already know this, or I get the point, or I will watch the rest later. That thought is not your intelligence speaking. That is your avoidance. That is the part of you that has been winning for too long. Discipline is not built in extraordinary moments. It is not built when the stakes are high and the cameras are on and everyone is watching. It is not built in the gym when you are fueled by music and emotion. It is not built in the moments that feel cinematic. Discipline is built here, in moments exactly like this one, when nothing is forcing you to stay, when no one will know if you leave, when quitting costs you nothing visible, when staying earns you nothing immediate. This is where it is built. In the invisible, unglamorous, uncomfortable decision to simply continue. To not quit, to not escape, to sit with the weight of something slow and finish it anyway. Because here is what no one tells you. The moments you quit in private are the moments that shape you. Every time you close a book before the chapter ends. Every time you abandon a task because it became tedious. Every time you walk away from something difficult not because you had to, but because you wanted to. Those moments count. They are not neutral. They are not forgotten by your nervous system. They are recorded. Every small retreat is a signal, and the signal says, when things get hard, I leave. And over time, your mind learns to believe that about you. And it starts leaving earlier, and earlier, and earlier, until you are the person who cannot watch a long video, cannot read a long article, cannot sit in silence for 5 minutes, cannot stay focused on one thing for more than a few seconds without reaching for distraction. Not because you are broken, but because you trained yourself. Slowly, with 1,000 small choices, you trained your mind to flee. But training goes both ways. Every time you stay when you want to leave, you send a different signal. You tell your mind, I am in control here. Not my impulses, not my comfort, not the pull of something easier. Me. And the mind listens. Maybe not after one time, maybe not after 10. But it listens, it adapts, it begins to trust you. And slowly, with repetition, with consistency, with the daily practice of choosing to stay and finish and endure, you build something, quietly, invisibly. Something that cannot be faked and cannot be borrowed and cannot be downloaded. You build self-mastery. And self-mastery is not a personality type. It is not a gift some people are born with. It is not a privilege of the disciplined few. It is a skill, a trained response, a muscle. And like any muscle, it is either being built or it is atrophying. There is no neutral. Every day you are either strengthening your ability to control yourself or you are weakening it. And the terrifying thing is that most people are weakening it every single day without knowing. Because they never measured it, because they never tested it, because no one never sat them down and said, your attention is disappearing. Your patience is thinning. Your ability to endure is quietly collapsing. And you are letting it happen in silence. So I am saying it now. I want you to think about the last time you did something boring all the way to the end. Not exciting, not stimulating, not rewarding in the moment, just boring. A long task, a slow process, a conversation that required patience, a piece of work that demanded sustained focus. When was the last time you did that without looking for an exit? Without checking your phone halfway through? Without telling yourself you deserved a break after 12 minutes of mild effort? Think about it honestly, because the answer will tell you more about where you are than any personality test ever could. And now I want you to think about what you want, not what you say you want. Not the version of yourself you describe to other people, but what you actually pursue. With your time, with your attention, with your mornings, with your evenings, with the hours in between. What do your habits say you want? Because your habits are the truth. Everything else is just a story you tell. Most people want extraordinary results from ordinary effort. They want sharp focus without training attention. They want strong willpower without practicing restraint. They want mental endurance without ever sitting in discomfort long enough to adapt to it. And so they stay stuck, not because they lack intelligence, not because the world is against them, but because they want the fruit without the roots. And the roots take time. And time feels like boredom. And boredom feels unbearable. So they scroll. And the gap between who they are and who they want to be stays exactly where it is. You are still here. I noticed that. And I want you to notice it too. Because you have been sitting with this for a while now. And your mind has probably tried to leave at least once. Maybe more. Maybe you paused and came back. Maybe you looked at something else for a moment. Maybe you are watching this at reduced speed and thinking that counts. Maybe you genuinely stayed. Whatever happened, you know. You always know. The honest version of yourself is always watching. And it is not judging you. It is waiting. It is waiting to see what you decide. Because here's the thing about discipline that no one talks about enough. It does not require perfection. It does not require that you never feel the urge to quit. Every person who has ever built real discipline felt the urge. constantly, profoundly. The urge to sleep instead of rise. The urge to scroll instead of create. The urge to numb instead of feel. The urge to retreat instead of push. Discipline does not mean the absence of that urge. It means feeling it fully and moving anyway. It means looking at the part of you that wants to escape and saying, I hear you. And I am not going with you today. That is it. That is the whole practice. Done every day. In small moments, in boring moments, in moments when no one is watching and nothing is on the line and quitting would cost you nothing you could measure. Done in moments like this one. Think about the two versions of people who started this video. One group left early, maybe within the first minute, maybe a few minutes in. They told themselves they got the idea. They told themselves they were busy. They told themselves they would finish it later, which is a thing humans say and rarely mean. And they went back to whatever was easier. And nothing changed. And tomorrow they will do it again. And next week. And next month. The pattern will hold because no one moment ever breaks it. Only consistent, deliberate, repeated choices do. And they did not make that choice today. The other group stayed. Some of them stayed easily. Some of them stayed with effort. Some of them fought the urge to quit 3 times and came back. But they stayed. And they will finish. And when it ends, they will not feel what they thought they would feel. They will not feel euphoric. They will not feel transformed. They will feel something quieter than that. A small, clean, private sense of having done what they said they would do. Of having been tested in a small way and not failed. Of having chosen themselves once in a moment when no one was making them. And that feeling, repeated across days and weeks and months, is what becomes identity. It is how a person stops being someone who almost finishes things and becomes someone who finishes things. Not through one dramatic moment, but through thousands of invisible ones. Focus is not a state you enter, it is a practice you build. And you build it by practicing holding your attention on things that do not reward you immediately. By reading the slow paragraph, by watching the full video, by finishing the set when you want to stop 3 reps early, by sitting in the meeting without checking your phone, by completing the task before you allow yourself the distraction. Every single time you hold your attention somewhere difficult, you are training focus. You are building the capacity to be present. To be here, to not be somewhere else in your mind while your body sits still. And that capacity, once built, changes everything. Because the person who can focus is the person who can learn, who can build, who can create something of lasting value. In a world of fractured attention, sustained focus is one of the rarest and most powerful things a human being can develop. But today is not enough. Today is just a signal. What matters is tomorrow and the day after. What matters is the next time something asks you to stay and part of you wants to leave. What matters is the 1,000 moments ahead of you that will test exactly what this tested. And whether, in those moments, you remember what it felt like to stay and choose it again. If you made it to the end of this, do one thing. Leave a comment. Write only these words: I passed the test. Not for me, for you. As a record, as a small, quiet act of accountability. As proof that once, in a moment that asked something of you, you did not leave. Now go build something.